what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I have already sat down and recorded this video twice, and both times it just didn't come across the way I wanted it to, and each time that I recorded it I was all over the place, which it already looks like that's how this is gonna go too. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of the way my brain is. And each time I've sat down and tried to record this video, a day after or something like that, we have learned more stuff. But pretty much I just wanted to sit down and update you guys and let you guys know where I've been. If you do not follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or you don't know me in my personal life, then you really don't know where I've been and what I've been up to and why I've been gone. As of 2 days ago, we found out that my dad has cancer, and as you can imagine, that's been really hard. And I'm gonna really try not to get super emotional in this video because I don't have time to be honest with you guys. Where to start? I also want to apologize if you guys hear the washing machine in the background. I'm doing laundry right now, trying to catch up on life pretty much since the bomb has dropped. So yeah, let me just start from the beginning. Around July 4th, if you hear something, Quincy's trying to get out of the room. Around July 4th, we went over to my uncle, for all intents and purposes, to play music. And my husband, if you don't know, is the drummer in like my dad's band, and they went over. We all had planned on July 4th to go over and grill out and play music together. When we were there, we noticed that my dad seemed really down, and looking back I realized it's because he didn't feel well. And of course I asked him how he was feeling, if everything was okay, and he told me that he just had a really bad headache and he couldn't turn and look at us on his left side, I think. And he said that he believed it was from him sleeping wrong, which has happened before. I mean, that's even happened to me. So we're just kind of like, okay, well, you know, if it doesn't get better, please let me know, and Jordan and I can take you to the doctor. Because my dad's really terrified of doctors, or was, and luckily had never been the type of person to get sick. So he never really had to go, which kind of fueled the fear for longer, because he just never went and he never was around doctors. You know, you get the gist of it. Well, about a week after July 4th, the wash machine's draining. I'm so sorry, you guys. My dad called me early in the morning during the week and asked if Jordan and I could take him to the doctor right then and there. And for my dad to call and ask that, I knew something was really wrong, but we didn't know then what we know now. That triggered doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment because we couldn't figure out what was going wrong. My dad was experiencing horrible migraines, sensitivity to light and sound, trembling hands, horrible vertigo to the point to where he couldn't drive, walk, or work, loss of appetite, numbness of hands, feet, and legs. Sometimes his leg would go numb and he would fall and could walk. And yeah, so he was just having a whole host of really bad symptoms. So they, thank God, they just prescribed him a generic dosage of prednisone, which, if you're unfamiliar with that, that is a steroid. And now that we know what we know now, thank God they did, because that probably saved his life. So they sent us to get a CT scan done, which was on a Wednesday about a month ago. And when we were at this CT appointment, CT went well, and instead of being let out the front to go home, the doctor pulled us aside and set us down in a little room, and immediately I just knew something was wrong, and so did Dad. But thankfully every doctor, every nurse, every office person that we've dealt with has been amazing and really kind and really compassionate. And they sat us down, and the doctor told us that they found a mass in his brain. And we had two choices then, is what he said. We could either drive ourselves over to the emergency room across the street, or we could take an ambulance over there because we had to go. We were admitted. He went through a whole nother host of labs and x-rays and CTs and an MRI. And a doctor came in and sat us down and told us that yes, there was a mass on his brain, and that it was a 13 millimeter sized tumor. And the tumor is on the left side of his brain in an area that controls speech. So that is why he had been and still is having some issues communicating. He's gotten a lot better though. But the doctor also told us that we needed to go see a neurosurgeon ASAP because the degree of swelling on his brain was just so much so that his brain had tried to compensate for the lack of space and had shifted his whole entire brain, and brainstem had shifted 3 millimeters to the left, which is not good. They set us up with a doctor at a really amazing big hospital about an hour away from us, and sent us home with a really much stronger steroid, which helped a lot. It helped bring down so much of that swelling, and for like the first time in like a month, I felt like I had my dad back because he had not been himself because he was so sick. Which is really hard to see because, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry because I'm an ugly crier, and then also it like makes my vocal cords just like strict up so I can't talk. So I'm really close with my dad. I always have been. I've always been a daddy's girl, and it's been really, really, really hard basically watching my dad deteriorate. So thank God that they gave us those medications because it has helped a lot, and it has helped bring my dad back, you know, which is amazing. About a week after our ER appointment, we had our initial appointment with the neurosurgeon, who was amazing. Absolutely amazing. He broke everything down for us and showed us everything and was just so compassionate and understanding, and really we felt like he cared, which in my personal experience has been something I have not encountered a lot with doctors. They gave us some options and we decided, and he also agreed this was the best option, that we do a biopsy to figure out what we're dealing with. Because at the time he told us that he believed it was a primary tumor, which is pretty common, and a lot of the time, I think we researched the statistics, 70% of primary tumors are benign. So we were like, that would be awesome if it's benign and they can just take it out and he can go back to his normal life. Because keep in mind, this entire time my dad hasn't been able to work, my dad hasn't been able to leave the house, my dad has been not feeling well. And he is very much the type of person where he always likes to be doing something. Even if he's not working, he likes to be outside in the yard, he likes to be outdoors, he likes to do stuff, and he hasn't been able to do anything. So we went through with the biopsy. The biopsy was the 29th of August, and I just don't even know what to say. It went well. The surgery in itself went well. He responded really well to anesthesia, which was something I was personally nervous about, and so was Dad, because you never know, and there is a certain level of risk to that. And then also, a biopsy in itself on your brain is risky, and our doctor did say there was a level of risk specifically for him because of the spot where the tumor is. Like I said, it's on the left side in a fold of his brain. Sorry, this is my left side. A left side in the fold of the brain, in a spot where your speech and stuff is. So they said there was like a certain level of risk for him to have a stroke in that area during the biopsy, which was terrifying because then my dad would never be the same again. So we tried not to focus on that, but the biopsy went amazing. He handled the anesthesia well. There was no stroke whatsoever, and they were able to get 2 good-sized samples of the tumor, which the doctor informed me that if I saw him running through the halls while we were in the waiting room, that it wasn't anything wrong. He was just personally running the biopsy up to the pathology lab to look at it under the microscope and make sure he got a good sample, which I was so impressed with, because they have, like I said, everyone has just gone above and beyond with his care. Dad was in the recovery room, and the doctor came out and told me that everything went smoothly. Dad handled everything perfectly. He was awake and already talking and asking to go home, which is just so my dad. And he did say, though, that the reason he took 2 good samples was because the first sample didn't look right. It didn't look like what he expected, and neither did the second. He said that he didn't want to say anything definite yet, and that we should hear back from pathology in 3 to 4 days. And in the meantime, he wanted to keep my dad overnight and possibly an extra day to run additional scans and imaging throughout my dad's body, which made my heart sink, because it just didn't sound good. After the full body MRI, instead of his neurosurgeon coming in to read us the results, 2 new doctors came in, and they said that they found an additional mass on his lymph node on the left side in this area. I don't know the specifics, just in this area. And they asked if he had had a history of cancer. My dad said no, because up until all of this, he had never been to the doctor before, so we really don't know. They introduced themselves as the oncology team and the possible team that would be handling his care from then on out. So without getting results back, they seemed pretty confident that my dad had some kind of cancer. We just don't know what. And that was hard. It was very hard. It was a huge shock to all of us, because going from thinking that my dad just had vertigo to maybe possibly a stroke, because all of his symptoms kind of also fell under that according to Google, to finding out that my dad has a brain tumor, another mass on his lymph node, and it's cancer, most likely. That was like 0 to 100, and it was really difficult. And of course, the first week of September has been really hard, because it's just like anytime the phone rings, I feel like my heart is gonna explode, because I'm just terrified, Now we have the results, so that is why I wanted to sit down and refilm this. That way I could just, keep you guys as updated as possible. And in case there's any, friends and family that are watching this that I haven't personally reached out to and told, then, you guys can know as well. But we got the results the day before yesterday, 2 days ago. And we found out that my dad has metastatic melanoma. we don't know what stage yet, and we won't know until his appointment Friday of this week with the cancer team of his, because they're gonna, obviously sit down and we're gonna talk and figure out treatment plans and what our journey is gonna look like from now on. But yeah, we found out that my dad has metastatic melanoma. That, if you're familiar with melanoma, from what I've read, it's a skin cancer. And when you hear that and you're like, but he has a brain tumor, you're like, well, how can that happen? The doctors explained to us that he probably has some spot of origin on his body that has just gone undetected and has spread to the lymph node nearest to where the source is. And the lymph node, makes things easier to spread in terms of cancer, and that it has spread into his brain and caused the tumor. So we don't know, like I said, the treatment, what stage, all of that yet. But as soon as I find anything out, I will update you guys. Like I said, we have an appointment on Friday. But yeah, I'm still in shock. This just happened 2 days ago. My husband's still in shock, and I believe, without a doubt, my dad is too. You never want to hear that, cancer is like the C word, and it's something that you don't ever want to say or acknowledge or even think about. But I just ask that, you keep my family and you guys' prayers or good vibes, whatever that you believe in. Just please pray for us and pray that my dad is strong and that he can fight this. And please pray that as a family we can be strong and continue to support and have strength for my dad, because he is the most important thing in our lives right now. It's like everything has just completely changed and completely shifted, and that's okay. Most people our age don't have to worry about their parents for a long time, but our timeline's a little different, with this stuff going on with my dad, and that's okay, because he is my dad, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that he's okay. So yeah, that's everything that's been going on. I just wanted to update you guys. That's where I've been the past month or two. I go over to my dad's like every other day, just about, to be with him and spend time with him, check on him and help him with whatever he needs. And add on top of that, I'm also in school. I will say that I'm doing really well in school regardless of everything, which I'm so shocked and so overwhelmed because it is so hard to find time for anything now. But I'm handling it okay. My husband also started a new job, and he is in his second semester of school right now. So there's a lot of change, and there's just a lot going on in our life. And I just want to let you guys know that I am not finished with YouTube. I'm not done with YouTube. I miss YouTube a lot. I miss you guys. I've made some really good friends, and I just want to thank everyone that has reached out and offered their support. It really means a lot to my dad and I and my family. And I want to come back. I want to come back to YouTube, because even though there's been a lot going on, school has been an awesome distraction for me. And I think that YouTube can be another awesome outlet and distraction for me, which I need. I'm trying to stay positive, and I'm trying to stay upbeat about this, and stay positive and upbeat for my dad. So I have to remember, I can't pour from an empty cup. So does that mean that I will be posting twice a week? No, because I definitely don't have time for that. I would like to try and stick to once a week, but even then I'm not sure. But right now the goal is to start back for once a week. So if you guys have anything that you would like to see from me, I'm open to suggestions. If you guys want to see vlogs of, everything, I would be happy to do it. I would have to ask my dad if he's okay with being on camera and being, out there on the internet, because I wouldn't do it without his consent. But if you guys would like to see some vlogs of our experience, our journey, then I can ask him, because, he enjoys watching my videos too, and he's been really supportive with my YouTube and school and all of that. There's good days and bad days. Today is kind of a rough one, but I'm trying to keep myself busy. As busy as I can handle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it through this entire video, I know it's gonna be really long. I'm at 27 minutes right now, and I'm gonna try not to edit this as much as possible because I just don't have time to edit. And I love you guys, and thank you guys for continuing to stick it out with me and stay supportive and stuff. It really means a lot. But yeah, until next time, peace out.